Hey everybody, what's going on? We are here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is the Empress. And we also have Five of Cups. Interesting. The Fountain card is coming out. I'm going to read the description of it. For those of you that don't know, there is a Fountain card in this deck. And all the other cards are the same as in a regular tarot deck except for this one. And I will read the description of it. It says, the fountain exists outside and beyond the cycles of birth, death, time, and form. It is the nameless, changeless source of which everything is part. It is the waking from the dream of separateness and identity, and the recognition of oneself as not only connected to all things, but all things, divine nature. When the fountain appears in your reading, relinquish all illusion of control and remain quiet. It invites you to observe, master less, and to just be, effortless and indistinguishable from life. You are the voice and the breath of the universe. So the meaning of this card is oneness, a moment of cosmic clarity, fully awake, the end of seeking, enlightened being, surrender to that which you are, whole and perfect. Okay, so this is coming out. We also have Eight of Swords, we have Nine of Cups. With Five of Cups, it looks like it is looking at the Empress, which I'm going to show you guys the way visually that this is looking for me, so you can see what I'm seeing here. So when we have that Five of Cups looking at the Empress is that it's the potential, it's the divine nature, it's the creativity, it's everything that can be emitted from us, the things that we can channel, especially the highest potential of that, of our essence being channeled into something. And these can also be things that we feel pulled in the direction of, things that we feel attracted to, and just overall the energy that we are emitting, and also what we do with that, like how it sort of lives through us and the choices that we make and the actions that we take. When we have Five of Cups looking at the Empress, there can be something going on where it feels like something is out of reach. And this can also be something going on as well where maybe this is something going on with a relationship that didn't fully translate, or a project that you were working on that you feel like something could have gone better with. Or it can even be like, I had the opportunity to show up in this way, and for some reason that's not what happened. So there can be a really big focus on that. I want to clarify what the Empress is in the eyes of the reading, and then I also want to clarify Five of Cups, because the Empress feels like, in a way, what we are seeking, like something that you look at and something that you want to connect with. But when we have the Five of Cups, it can show that something didn't fully happen, and there can be a, like, I'm having a hard time letting that go. The way that just visually I'm seeing the Empress, it feels like what you may really be gravitating towards, what you may really be gravitating in the direction of. Something else too with the Empress can be not only what you're capable of as far as doing, but what you can call in as well. That can also be part of it too. Because the Empress is connected with our feminine energy, there can be something about like pulling something towards yourself, and that can also be connected with this. What's clarifying the Empress is Judgment and Queen of Cups. So this is going to be some type of, hearing formal, deep dive that you're doing into what's going on within your spirit, something that you're working through. So Empress is connected with Venus energy, relationships, what you feel drawn to, what you find appealing, your values, what is valuable to you in general, as Venus is connected with these things, what you find valuable, what you find beautiful. So having that Five of Cups looking at the Empress, which is going to be like, I haven't gotten over something, that the situation isn't going to change. My feelings are the things that can develop and change through this, where I can move to a place of acceptance, which I'm not in when we're in that energy. We're still having an unprocessed experience. We're still feeling something that is unprocessed. It hasn't finalized its evolution yet. It hasn't gone to its final form yet. So what one's back is turned towards is the Fountain. This is the card that we clarified before that I read the book about what's in this card, and it feels like by getting so caught up in staring at this, which is something that we can't do anything about this anymore. This is a card that's connected with stuff that has already occurred that we have not made peace with. But as far as the situation is not going to change. It's just the narrative. That being said, it feels like in still not having integrated this, I'm turning my back on the Fountain. And I'm not seeing that. I'm not able to see this. So this is blocked from seeing that. Even though what you want is around, but it feels again like looking down, not looking up, and not seeing what's around you. And can be a time where this is something you can recognize. The way that Five of Cups is looking at the Empress, it feels very much to me like looking at something and wanting it. I feel like I already talked about this, but it's coming through again. The way that the Five of Cups is looking at the Empress, it feels like I want the Empress. There's something about that. And this can be when you go really within yourself. It's not like I want this object that's outside of myself. This is like, I want to be connected with the Empress that is within me. I want to be connected with that aspect of my energy. That is what I want. I want to be, because the Five of Cups isn't just like looking at this person that's in that energy of the Empress and being like, I want that. Like, what is that? This is, I want to be in this position, you know? Like when you look at it as, if you look at it more closely, if you look at it more so under a microscope, which is why we had Judgment there, which Judgment is going to be taking the closest look possible at something. When you take the closest look possible, you're not looking at this on a surface level and just being like, I want that thing over there, or I want that person. This is, I want to be in a position that feels empowering to me, where I feel truly connected with my center, when I feel in my center. And that is what I want. And this can be maybe an opportunity that happened where you're like, that's what I was hoping for was going to happen. That's not how things translated. And now I'm stuck thinking about that opportunity, forgetting that this is something that can be recreated. This is something that can be remanifested. But it feels like this, I'm so focused on whatever that situation was that I'm losing sight of the bigger picture here. And now in my head, it's like that was a lost opportunity. It was the only chance. And that's that. And that's what this is feeling like, when that's actually not the case. But it's a temporary perspective. So in taking this closer look and really understanding, like, are you upset about the situation, or are you upset about the potential that you lost within that? And is that not something that can be remanifested? Like, whatever that experience was that you were looking for, and having the Queen of Cups here, I'd say that on some type of like spiritual, energetic, emotional level, that's what you're looking for. It's not something external. It's going to be something internal. It's going to be connected with a feeling. And is that the only situation you could have that feeling within? But yeah, sometimes we can get stuck on the external of it and think that's the only situation, when in fact it's not. Finding your spark once again. This is going to feel mentally redundant. You will get to a point where if the train of thought is connected with the Five of Cups, you're going to stay within that energy. It is not your only option here. You don't need to stay within that energy. The Empress is something that you can achieve. It is something that you can connect with. It is an energy that you can be within. It is one that you can embody. If we're getting stuck on this situation and not recognizing that it's possible to recreate, we stay stuck feeling hopeless within that, when it's not actually. And that really is why judgment is needed. So this is feeling like once we can accept the situation for what it is and keep moving, it allows you to be released then. So instead of staying stuck like this now, just like looking at something that the situation isn't going to change, like whatever it was that had happened, that situation is going to remain as it is. But there's going to be an Empress over here too, and over there, and over there. But you're going to have to turn around. This feels like something where there's distance between that. Like you can't connect with it in that situation, but it's going to be on the other side of it. That's why the Fountain is over there. I'm hearing ministry. So what this is going to do as you're moving through this, as you're accepting this, it's going to, one, allow you to recognize that this is actually something that what you want, because in this top part of the spread, we have the Nine of Cups, which shows there are things that you want, but you're going to have to be present in order to recognize that. But it will be just as great as this. What this is also going to allow you to do is recognize that you can have this, but it's not going to be in a lack of acceptance of what has happened and being stuck within the past. This is something that you're ready to graduate from at this point. Like, are you done being in this feeling? Are you ready to integrate this and move forward with your journey? This is a classic situation of things didn't happen the way that I wanted or how I expected them to. That part of the situation isn't going to change. What needs to be done here is processing the way that you feel, accepting the situation first and foremost, so then you can go find what you're looking for, which is going to be up ahead. And this is informing you too of what you want, so you know better now what you're looking for. But when we get stuck on that situation, it keeps us in that space where it's really just keeping you from what you want. That is what's happening here within this situation, which it's ironic because of that, because we're stuck on something being like, I wanted that, I wanted that, I wanted that. But as much as we stay there, it doesn't change the situation. The only chance you have in connecting with what you want is being present and continuing to move forward with your journey. But when we're stuck, we're completely minimizing that chance. So it feels again like I wanted it to be this. I wanted, like I wanted this to feel empowering, or I wanted this to be compatible, or I wanted to connect with this. In moving forward, you're going to be able to do exactly that. That is a possibility for you. That's why the fountain is here. Saying allow that to inspire you to move forward. What has happened has happened. That's not something that's going to change. No matter how long you dwell on it, no matter how many times you think, well, if it would have gone this way, if it would have gone that way, none of that is going to change what has happened. And it will actually keep you in a space where there's still a resistance to accepting the situation for what it is. Which we do because it can feel painful, you know, it can feel really disappointing, it can be upsetting. There's stuff that we have to reconcile emotionally. The reality. We have to reconcile with the reality of what has happened, the events that have occurred, the situation for what it is. Once you do that, it gives you a fighting chance to connect with what you really want and to feel a sense of satisfaction with that too. So meanwhile, as we're focusing on these things, it keeps us from actualizing what we truly do want. This is allowing you to be released into the present moment so you can connect with that, to give yourself that chance. And to leave behind this stuck mentality. To put the effort in. Where this energy is coming from within the reading, I feel like this is a situation in which you can feel like you've been emotionally stagnating within, and you can be at a point where you're like, what's going on here? Like, what am I supposed to do at this point? And it feels like it's connected with this, like where you've gotten stuck and how to move forward. When we have not allowed ourselves to accept a situation, we're still working through something, and we're working through something that we're going to end up at the same conclusion again and again. The conclusion is not going to change. As much as you think about it, as much as you want to resist what happened, the conclusion is not going to change. The only way that a conclusion is going to change is something that's going to be happening in the future. But as far as a past conclusion is not going to change. As far as the events of what has happened. So if you want to connect with the Empress, you're going to have to be present, and you're going to have to move forward with this. Otherwise, it feels like being in a situation where it's like you're on this planet here and the Empress is on that planet over here. And if you're focusing on the past, it feels like there's always going to be that distance in between. Like you're never going to connect with that. It's going to be in the present moment and focusing on where you are. And that's where the Empress is going to re-manifest. That is where that will be. And that is where you'll be able to connect with that. But it's not going to be in the past situation. But yeah, this can be something, I'm seeing 5 of Pentacles here. This can be something that you're telling yourself, like, this was my only chance. Without that, like, I guess that's just it for me. And it's not the case. It's not the case at all. It feels like that one thing that didn't work out, and now that's just going to be it for me. And there are so many other opportunities, and it will be that thing of what you're looking for. Like it will very much be. It's not going to be like of a lesser quality for some reason. That's not it. And this is also a way that you connect with and empower yourself. This is the way that you embrace your Empress energy through this process. This is the way where you're allowing yourself to be receptive and open to what's unfolding and what's happening, and yourself and what you're feeling drawn to. If you want to give yourself that chance to connect with what you're feeling drawn to, the key is going to be in the present moment, not in the past. And this is going to allow you to move forward now and really be able to connect with what you want. And know that that is possible for you. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.